Hey all you crazy kids! Today I'm drawing fan art for 3 of my favorite art YouTubers and one person I'd follow on Instagram. If I had Instagram. Let's go. How much of my audience likes Strawberry Shortcake? The show. At the very least, how many of you have nostalgia for it? Well, I'm personally not really into it and never was. Well, I was, but not that much. But even I can't resist something as juicy as Brooks Dreamery's Zomberry AU. I love me a good AU, that much is evident. And Brooks is just, her designs are amazing. The way she portrays the characters are incredible. And one of my favorites was definitely her orange blossom design. But who is Brooks and what is the Zomberry AU? Well, Brooks is obviously an art YouTuber here. I think she has other social media too, but I don't have social media outside of YouTube, so I don't know. She's made some other content in the past, specifically art for a ship called the Rumi. I think it's a Ninjago ship, but I personally stopped following the show after the movie came out, so I have no idea. But her most recent content has been the Zomberry AU. The Zomberry AU is exactly what it sounds like. Strawberry Shortcake meets Zombie Apocalypse. I will not be going in depth, that is what Brooks is for. But the characters in the AU are aged up a little, I think closer to mid-teens. And the AU isn't like The Walking Dead. The Zomberries only affect fruits and veggies, and overall it's a much more power of friendship style of AU. She is much nicer to her AU characters than I am. Orange Blossom, the character I'm drawing, is an artist and friend group's cartographer, a map maker. She's got a photographic memory, she's ambitious, cheery, perceptive, pretty empathetic. I think in Brooks' story she moved overseas to study her art, and that's all I'm gonna say, but please check out Brooks' channel. In fact, when you're done here, check out all of these ladies, yeah, they're all girls, channels. I will have them all tagged into the description, and I can't really link the Instagram page of the 4th girly, but that'll be down there too. I found Brooks when I was just scrolling. It was her first Strawberry Shortcake redesign of, obviously, Strawberry Shortcake. Normally, I don't watch that stuff. I think it's kind of cringe. Not dunking on anyone that does like that stuff. You're allowed to have your own opinion. That's just mine. But the idea of a Zomberry AU sounded so interesting that I clicked. And can you imagine my delight, when an Ed card came up and it had a Bible verse in it, essentially confirming that Brooks was a Christian. I subbed immediately. That's not the only reason I subbed though. Her art is incredible and I loved the content. I would have subbed anyway, but that only confirmed my decision. Religion is a very touchy subject on the internet, so I didn't mention it until now, but I am a Christian. I do believe in the one true God, and that does influence my interests on the internet. In fact, all 4 artists I'm drawing for today are Christians, at least I think so. And again, that's not the only reason I like them. I love their art and their art styles and all that stuff so much anyway. But it does make it easier for me to trust the content they make, and I really appreciate that. But back to Brooks. I'm drawing Orange Blossom in a waist-up pose where she's holding a map. To be honest, I'm probably on the rendering by now. None of the art in this video is super complicated. None of them have real backgrounds, and the poses are all pretty simple. This was just supposed to be a chill video where I could draw some fan art for girls I've been wanting to draw fan art for forever. Not super complicated. But I did figure something out. In my shipping video, I mentioned that I needed to figure out how to draw brown eyes in my art style, and I did. It came in the form of not worrying about being able to see everything. Dark eyes are dark for a reason. So once I accepted that, it was definitely easier. I also drew curly hair. I do not draw that type of hair like ever, so I was very lost on it and just ended up almost copying the way Brooks did it. And since we have kind of similar hairstyles using mostly big shapes, it did work. And there is the Orange Blossom fan art. Brooks, if you do end up watching this, I love your stuff so much, and you are the only in time I have enjoyed YouTube content about a kid show I used to watch. Next up is a YouTuber I have actually drawn fan art for before on my channel. I'm Estrella, who you might recognize from that bonus art contest video I made a while back. This is not the OC I drew in that video. Actually, I'm not entirely sure this is an OC in the first place. I wasn't actually gonna include Estrella in this video because I already have drawn out fan art of her, but then she posted a video where she drew a character for every color of the rainbow, and the character for orange, gee, look at that, more orange, was Apricot. And I wanted to draw Apricot immediately. I loved her design so much, still do, and I couldn't wait to work on it. It was a little tricky to draw though, since Apricot does have a fuller body type. And while I have drawn fuller body types before, it's been a while and I don't do it very often. And I forgot to look up a reference, so this is nowhere near an accurate representation, but in my opinion, it's not terrible either. I'm not gonna talk a ton about Estrella, since I already have a video dedicated to her, but something I found kind of funny is that even though Estrella usually uses very saturated colors, Apricot's palette is pretty desaturated, so it was my job to liven up a few of the colors, namely the hair and some of the clothes, to fit my style more. I did color pick from my references for all of these to keep the colors accurate, but I didn't hesitate to adjust them if I needed to. You have probably noticed that the speed paint quality is not up to my usual standards. This is because I am once again using Procreate captured footage, and I hate the quality as much as the next girly, but I gotta admit, it sure is helpful. I've decided that if a video has a lot of art or more complicated art, I will use the Procreate videos, because my biggest turn off for recording footage is the fact that I can't have a YouTube video on in the background while I do it, and I have to mute my Gmail notifications so I can't chat with my friends. It's just me and the art, and that gets kind of boring at some point. Especially when I'm worrying about how often I move the canvas, because spoilers for anyone who didn't watch my first or second videos, don't blame you if you didn't, they are terrible, but I move and rotate my canvas all the freaking time. It's how I check for mistakes, similar to flipping the canvas. So I need to be conscious of that while I'm recording, and when I have 4 fully finished art pieces to work on, that just doesn't seem fun. And one long-winded explanation later, you know why I'm using Procreate footage. Getting back to the character though, I loved drawing Apricot's hair. It's such a fun style, and in a weird way, it does kind of remind me of an apricot like the fruit. It might be the bun. I also like drawing her pants. They have a checkered pattern on them, so I used the same technique I talked about in my Animal Crossing video to add that on. Estrella's content is very, I want to say all over the place, but that's not true. She just makes content on a wide variety of art-related topics, usually art challenges, and I love them. Her art style is so fun and colorful, and that is not an unpopular opinion. Estrella has made a YouTube short literally memeing the way everyone loves her art so much. Please watch her, she is so underrated. Everyone here is underrated, even the one girl that is not underrated, and I will die on my hill that says these ladies deserve more love. Please enjoy this apricot fan art in the meantime though, and Estrella, if you do see this, you are incredible at what you do, your colors are absolutely amazing, and your art style is so much eye candy, it hurts. Right here, we have the odd one out of the video. This artist doesn't have a YouTube channel, and I don't even follow her on Instagram since I don't have it. This OC is actually from one of my IRL besties, who will be lovingly referred to as B for the sake of her privacy. B and I, we have similar interests on characters, and if that doesn't tell you all you need to know, I don't know what will. It is not uncommon for the two of us to just info-dump lore for our different OCs onto each other very late at night, and we like a lot of the same fictional characters. You actually can blame her for my love of Cookie Run Kingdom. She's the one that got me to play the game. Please check out her Instagram. She's new there, and every follower helps. The OC she asked me to draw today is her OC, Eli. Yeah, that's a dude. And please don't use this reference as a basis on Bee's art. This drawing is kind of old, and her art is a bit different now. And because we're friends, I wanted to draw Eli, whose story I will get into later, with one of my OCs, and Bee picked Leah, the duo that we like to call the Grapes, since they are both purple. And yes, Eli is a cat boy. Don't judge. Eli likes to bake. Baking is just his hobby. It doesn't really help him with his trauma, because you better believe he has trauma. And Leah has probably never seen baked goods before. So it's a picture of him holding a sheet of cookies and Leah holding one while looking amazed. And the cookies are gonna have red icing to reference the time that I accidentally created her favorite fictional character ever. Essentially, a character that we both like, but his trauma is up to around 10 million, and he is now an army with a bias for Suga. Any guesses? But warning, please ignore his left or right hand. It is absolutely horrendous, but I was just done worrying about it, so I moved on. Eli is definitely Bee's favorite OC. Her beloved son, if you will. His backstory is so detailed, I cannot fit it into this 5-ish minute segment, but I will be pressuring Bee to make an Insta post about it, so don't worry. But the short rundown is that he's an immortal being who fought in a war between the god of purity, Cathra, and the god of darkness, Fuego. I think he was on Fuego's side, but I will have to double check that. And after the war where his best friend died, which is why he likes to bake, because it was her favorite thing, he got sent to Earth to get post-war intel. This is incredibly simplified, and I actually needed to edit it because I mixed up Eli with a different OC, which Bee did point out. Bee and I really like talking about our OCs together, and we have unofficially named each other the aunts of each other's characters. We love the trauma so much, and we have directly influenced each other's stories and lore. We do it so much, we have to refrain from doing it in front of our other friends. She's also the one that usually, if I feel hyped about something, she's the one I email spam about it. Mostly Cookie Run related, because she's the only one I know who has played the game and feels for the characters the same way I do. She has kinda fallen off though. Somehow I've refrained from mentioning the Burning Spice update to her until now. And you, for that matter. But why did I decide to put Bee in this video? Well, I did want to put 4 pictures in this video, but the 4th YouTuber I intended to draw for actually took down all her old videos, so I couldn't get any references or rewatch the video of the OC I wanted to draw. So instead of doing the smart thing and cutting down the amount of work I had to do, I spammed Bee over email in all caps to get her to send me Eli's reference. Yes, I did not give her any choice. I made her do this, and she liked it. I'm actually pretty happy with how I drew Eli. He does have some more feminine features, but I think he still looks like a dude. I messed around with how I drew his nose a little because Bee didn't actually draw a nose, so I drew it more like a button nose, if that makes any sense. I actually also drew brown eyes again. Ironically, 3 out of the 5 characters in this video have brown eyes, and the other 2 have orange eyes. And here are the lovely grapes. Bee, you're honestly not watching this video because I already showed you the art, but I know you like it, and thank you for sitting through my random rants. And last, but definitely not least, we have my favorite YouTuber on the entirety of the internet. Love to draw manga. And when I say favorite, I mean that without her, I would not be here. She is my biggest inspiration as an artist, and it is because of her that I fell head over heels into my art journey. I vividly remember my first L2DM video. It was her Draw My Viewers OC video, where she drew the guy that ate fear. And for reference, this was my art in 2022, before I started watching L2DM, and this is my art in 2024, only 2 years later. That would not have happened without her. I saw her and I really wanted to draw like that, so drawing went from something that I did every once in a while to something I did all the time. She propelled me into the improvement, and all I can say is thank you, love to draw manga. The OC I'm drawing from L2DM is actually a more recent redesign. L2DM has a lot of OCs, and I wanted to draw basically all of them. I love Faith and Brayson together, specifically. I love Raylan and Azra and Silva and Chip and Alfred, but in a more recent video, she redesigned Carson, who is a character in her current work-in-progress story for after her webcomic, which you should also check out here on YouTube. Before the redesign, yeah, I liked him. He was the serious one, he had kind of cute design, but he was kind of overshadowed by her other characters for me. But then, oh man, she redesigned him, and Carson is now one of my favorite L2DM characters. He went from this serious one to this chaotic, neutral, street smart street rat, and I love him. Carson is the definition of a character I like. He's chaotic, unpredictable, and his backstory is very mysterious, and knowing L2DM, it's not too traumatized, but I'm gonna pretend it is for the feels. He is the exact kind of character I like. He is a moss grower. His hair is actually made out of moss because his head is covered in spores that grow moss. And that's all I really know about his powers, but you should totally check out all of her videos on this story. The working title is just Pariah's story. Pariah is the main character. Carson is a very good example of how my interest in characters has changed over the years. When I was first getting into media, the characters I liked were almost exclusively the female lead characters. Harry Potter, Ginny and Luna. Marvel, Scarlet Witch. Percy Jackson, Annabeth. I think it's been a while, Anyway, the point is that I used to like that type of character. Compare that to the characters I like today. Marvel, it's Loki now. We have Shadow Milk Cookie, Keith Sensen, Murtagh from the Inheritance Cycle, Breath of the Wild Link, you know why, the Maze Runners, Newt, and a ton of other CRK characters, just to name a few. I bet you can see that my interests have changed. We went from almost exclusively female to almost exclusively male. The lead Mary Sues to traumatized crazy boys. If I was 10, the main character Pariah from Carson's story would definitely be my preferred character, but because my interests have changed, I actually like Carson more than Pariah. I drew Carson in kind of just a smirky pose. I don't know if I'm on the rendering, but I inserted a headcanon of mine that Carson actually has dimples. I've always struggled with dimples because using just a line makes him look like an old man, so I just blended out a shadow for it. I did saturate the colors for his clothes because they are very desaturated, and he's just doing a peace sign and acting kind of smirky or flirty. Carson and everything in Pariah's story is drawn in L2DM's simpler chibi elf art style, and I love this style. It's so cute. L2DM has like 4 art styles. She has her normal style, her chibi elf style, her anti-style, and her hyper style. Love to Draw Manga has a ton of different series that she does too. My favorites are her Draw Viewers OCs and Drawing Myself in Different Video Game Styles series. The second one has branched out more into cartoons and stuff, and actually, it's not just Bee you can blame for my CRK love. L2DM did a video where she drew herself in the style, even though she doesn't actually play the game. And it was that, combined with Bee, that made me play the game. And I actually went back and watched the video after I had been playing for a while, and L2DM, I know you called yourself Peanut Butter Cookie, and I know you did it for the aesthetics, but you made yourself an epic cookie, but used the common cookie gotcha screen, and I just found that so funny. I am actually so happy with Carson's hair. I didn't want to just copy it from Carson's reference, but I also wanted it to look like Carson's hair, and I just think it turned out so good. I really like all the art in this video, actually. And here is Carson. L2DM, if you see this, you have always been and still are my biggest inspiration as an artist. And also, I hope you're feeling better. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Like I said earlier, the links to all 4 of the ladies' channels and Instagram will be in the description. And while you're down there, please feel free to like, subscribe, and comment any thoughts you got down below. And with all that said, have a great day, everybody. See ya.